Welcome to the beating heart of America. To a land that doesn't end at the horizon, but begins with it. This is Iowa, the state of golden fields and endless skies. Where rural charm meets deep-rooted history and the pulse of tomorrow. Located in the Midwestern United States, between the Missouri and Mississippi rivers, Iowa feels like it was carefully painted into a perfect natural canvas. Known as one of the country's agricultural powerhouses, it holds far more than corn and soybeans. From small towns filled with life to prestigious universities like Iowa State University and the University of Iowa, from colorful local festivals to communities full of warmth and openness. Here, creativity blooms in the studios of Des Moines. Stories are born in towns that inspired Mark Twain, and the past is honored in Danish castles and Native American museums. Iowa is more than a dot on the map. It's a full experience of elegant simplicity, inspiring calm, and hidden beauty. Get ready to discover a land that may not be on every traveler's list, but will capture your heart from the very first frame. This is Iowa, where every road, no matter how quiet, carries a story. Iowa's agricultural landscape is more than fertile ground. It's a living testament to the state's foundational role in America's farming legacy. In 2024, Iowa produced approximately 2.52 billion bushels of corn and 598 million bushels of soybeans, securing its place among the top contributors to the nation's grain supply. Endless cornfields sweep across rolling hills, a golden ocean of growth, while neatly ordered rows of soybeans whisper the state's dedication to crop diversity and sustainable farming. Interwoven within this rural expanse rise over 6,000 wind turbines, generating nearly 60% of the state's electricity, a remarkable fusion of agriculture and clean energy. Research from Iowa State University even suggests that wind farms may enhance crop growth, underscoring a unique synergy between power and produce. In Iowa, tradition meets innovation, crafting a resilient, forward-looking model of sustainable agriculture that balances the old ways with the winds of change. Fields of Dreams, carved into the heart of two Iowa cornfields in 1988 by Universal Pictures, began as a movie set, but quickly transformed into something far more enduring. Even after the cameras stopped rolling, the diamond remained half-owned, half-contested, yet wholly enchanted. Visitors arrived not just to see a baseball field, but to touch the edge of something mythic, something that whispered softly through cornstalks and into the soul. When the Ghost Players returned in 1990, they brought with them not just stories and laughter, but a kind of magic, rekindling belief in things unseen. Over the years, this field became a pilgrimage not only for baseball lovers, but for all who still believe that dreams, even impossible ones, deserve a place to live. Pine Lake State Park, located within the golden quilt of Iowa's farmland, unfolds like a half-remembered memory, serene, storied, and subtly shadowed by a sense of loss. Winding woodland trails follow the soft contours of deep ravines, while the gentle lapping of lake water harmonizes with the whispers of the wind through young pines. But beneath this tranquil beauty lies more than nature, a legacy laced into the land, whispering through every tree, every ripple, every rustling leaf. This is not just a park. It is a place where silence speaks, where time lingers, and where beauty holds the weight of what once was. Just outside Dubuque, the Horseshoe Bluff Trail winds through the depths of the mines of Spain, leading explorers into a world of unexpected beauty and unforgettable views. This 1.444-kilometer loop begins gently, threading through dense foliage filled with birdsong and the hum of summer, before ascending sharply toward a dramatic overlook. As the path rises, the canyon slowly unfolds until the distinctive curve of Horseshoe Bluff appears a vast geological amphitheater shaped by time itself. Though short, the trail is not without challenge, boasting 393 feet of elevation and a few rugged turns that require firm footing, especially for families with children. At the summit, a hush falls. The vista opens in full glory, as if nature paused to take a breath. Julien Dubuque Monument, a tower of echoes. Perched high above the Mississippi River, the Julien Dubuque Monument rises like a sentinel, marking the resting place of a man who bridged cultures and empires through alliance and ambition. Built in 1897, the stone tower stands where Dubuque was buried in 1810, on a bluff he once called home, where a cedar shelter once protected his grave, its open window a symbolic passage, some believed, for the soul to slip into the sky. But time was not kind. The grave became a mystery shrouded in rumor. The wooden cross vanished, the coffin allegedly stolen, bones misplaced, even a jawbone kept by a woman convinced it belonged to him. Fragments of Dubuque's story scattered like river stones, his memory distorted by time, and yet the monument remains. Not just as a historical marker, but as a presence that watches, ever still, over the great river he once called his own. Iowa River, the patient witness. The Iowa River begins as a whisper stitched from quiet streams through farmland and prairie, north of Bellman. It gathers strength not with force, but with persistence, bending southeast unrushed, but certain of its path. Through towns like Iowa Falls, Marshalltown, and Iowa City, it carves both valleys and memories, carrying with it the reflections of old bridges, university towers, and canoes drifting beneath the dusk. Between limestone bluffs and lines of cottonwoods, its waters echo the rhythm of generations who lived, learned, and lingered by its side. Whether you're casting a line or chasing stillness by paddle, you feel it, that quiet, enduring presence. The river doesn't speak, it remembers. Saylorville Lake, where water remembers born, not from wonder, but from warning, Saylorville Lake was carved into the land, not for recreation, but for rescue. Its vast waters, stretching over 26,000 acres, lie in solemn stillness, holding back the ghosts of tempests past. Cyclists trace paths once drawn in haste, where safety had once meant fleeing rising floods. At the marina, hands now tend to boats with the same quiet care once given to sandbags and levees. Here, nature's rage was not rejected, it was reimagined. Saylorville is more than a lake. It is a living monument where engineering became grace and fear was answered not with force, but with foresight. Iowa State University, founded in 1858, was born from a bold vision of agricultural and mechanical education. Today, it stands as one of the nation's premier land-grant institutions, a place where tradition and innovation walk hand in hand. Set across 1,013 acres in Ames, the campus is a living tapestry of heritage and design, with over 160 buildings nestled among groves of ancient trees and broad open lawns that echo the rhythm of student life. At its heart rises the Campanile, a 110-foot bell tower built in memory of Margaret MacDonald Stanton. Its chimes not only mark the hour, they pulse like the university's heartbeat. Nearby, Lake Lava reflects both the sky and the red brick buildings along its shores. Jester Park, Iowa's quiet wilderness. In early summer, when the morning mist clings to the treetops, Jester Park awakens slowly with the echo of hoofbeats, birdsong, and distant laughter drifting through the still air. At the Jester Park Nature Center, Wonder is kindled, families arrive curious and leave quietly transformed. As dusk descends, campers settle in, horseback riders vanish into shadowed trails, and paddle boats glide across still waters like ghosts of summer. And in that golden flicker of firelight, the noise of the world fades, and time, just for a moment, forgets to move. Women of Achievement, Bridge Des Moines, Iowa. The Iowa Women of Achievement Bridge arcs gracefully across the Des Moines River, not merely joining two banks, but binding generations of voices once silenced. By day, it carries the rhythm of footsteps and the hum of wheels in quiet harmony. By night, it becomes a ribbon of light, glowing softly in tribute, a beacon to the women who shaped Iowa's legacy with courage and resolve. This is more than steel and span. It is infrastructure with soul, a visible recognition of resilience, a quiet monument to grace, strength, and progress. Cedar Rapids lies across both banks of the Cedar River, born where rapids once thundered and mills once turned with the river's force. Beneath its modern streets beats the heart of a frontier past where millers, squatters, and Czech immigrants shaped permanence from dreams and driftwood. By the 1850s, the pulse of railroads and the songs of those fleeing war-torn Europe filled its air, and two rival settlements merged into one. Today, Cedar Rapids remains the heartbeat of Eastern Iowa, practical, poetic, and powered by legacy. In this city, brick by brick, Czech heritage meets modern art, where Queen Anne mansions gaze upon graffiti walls and glassy breweries. This is not just a city that moves, it's a city that meets your gaze, quietly confident, whispering not, "Come visit," but rather, "Come stay." The Polk County Courthouse. On a quiet square in Des Moines, where echoes settle gently into sandstone, the Polk County Courthouse rises not merely a vessel for law, but a monument to the passage of time. Built in 1906, atop the footprints of two earlier halls of justice, it stretches wide and solemn, its Beaux-Arts architecture designed to command respect, not demand it. At its heart, the square clock tower, crowned in quiet dignity, does more than mark the hours it stands as a silent witness to generations of trials, decisions, and reckonings. Through its corridors have passed stories of conflict and closure, of justice both fragile and firm, and still the courthouse endures, anchored like a sentinel to the city's soul. Iowa State Capitol, Before it was marble and dome, it was an act of faith, rising from frozen ground in a young state still aching from war. The first foundation cracked and collapsed, but the builders kept going, craftsmen chasing purpose, not profit. Over 36 years, stone by stone, the Iowa State Capitol emerged not merely as a structure, but as a statement. Crowned in gold leaf, it gleams with a quiet conviction, a monument not just to governance, but to endurance and belief. Des Moines stands like a compass point, a city born at the crossroads of geography, history, and ambition. Here, the Des Moines and Raccoon Rivers once met under the watch of a frontier fort, built in 1843 not to conquer, but to guard, though uneasily, the edge of a growing nation. By 1857, settlers had claimed it, and Iowa had found its capital, a place whose very name whispers mystery. Does it echo from Moinga, an Algonquian name tied to the river's ancient flow? Or is it French Des Moines, the middle land, resting between the Mississippi and Missouri, between memory and frontier? Some even speak of monks, long gone, their presence now folded into the river mist. Whatever the truth, Des Moines rose to become the steadfast heart of Iowa, not only its political pulse, but its most populous, most forward-facing city. On its walkable streets, life flows with quiet precision boutiques, bakeries, vintage treasures, arranged like pages from a beloved novel. When the city celebrates, its plazas light up laughter, music, and the warm scent of street food carry strangers into shared joy. Where the Mississippi bends in quiet power, Davenport rises not in spectacle, but in silent dignity. On the Iowa side of the river's divide, it anchors the Quad Cities' 5 urban hearts bound by bridges, trade, and the gentle rhythm of river life. In 1832, after a treaty with Sauk leader Black Hawk, settlers came, drawn by fertile soil and the promise of the river. Among them was Antoine Leclerc, of French and native descent, who envisioned a town here. His spirit still lingers in the very walls of a house being restored, a memory built from both worlds. But Davenport wears no mask of grandeur. Its history lives deep in the bricks and bones of over 1,600 historic sites. From the riverfront's red stone buildings, now echoing with the music of the Mississippi, to the revived 1930s baseball stadium, every structure is a living chapter. If you enjoyed this video and loved joining us on this journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new adventures. We have so many amazing trips and places waiting for you, and we want you to be a part of every step we take. Hit that subscribe button now, and let's embark on unforgettable adventures together.